Hi, professional writers. Welcome to video 3 and hopefully the last one about formatting white papers. In the last video, I showed you how to start formatting in Microsoft Word. We added footers and headers to include repetition throughout our paper. And we messed with alignment, so now we have 2 alignments. And we even did a little bit with contrast. This is gonna just to even help you make your white paper even better. Okay, so while I was waiting for the last video to load up, I just copied and pasted some Latin text. Don't read it, it's not gonna make sense. It's just kind of to show you, pretend that this is a report that I have all my content done, and now we're just messing with how it looks. Okay, you'll also notice I changed this to blue because I thought black was too stark and it was going to get a little boring, just black and orange. And so I changed it to blue, black, and orange. So hopefully that's better. Okay. Now, this was the last thing we did. We added this text box. Now, I didn't check the alignment. You'll notice this is aligned with the 1-inch margin, right? See, there we go. But I didn't check this, and so how I'm going to do that is I'm going to go here. It looks like it's slightly off, and so I'm just going to move it over. No, not up, just over. And make sure that's lined up. Yeah, that looks right to me. Looks like it's good. If you need to, you can always do this or this, but I think that's pretty good. Maybe we'll do that. Okay. Just make sure your stuff is aligned. And you don't want it like messing up the alignment of your text, all right? You want it to be over in its own space. That's why we have this big extra left-hand margin here, okay? All right, so we have contrast so far in the background here, and you can mess with this. If you want, you can add, you know, a line around it if you want. Whatever you think looks good. All right, now I don't just want you to add text boxes, and I want you to add a couple of these, and you can just copy and paste that. That's like all I did. I pressed copy, and maybe you want to paste it over here, and instead of about the author, you want to put like statistic 1, and you know, did you know, blah, blah, blah. When you do this, and these are great, don't call it statistic 1, you know, give it its own title or whatever. Once you do that, don't forget to include the citation of your statistic. So maybe you want the last name of the author, and then the page number or the paragraph number on which you got it, okay? All right. I'm actually going to put that, I think, on page 2. Maybe statistic 1 has to do with prison resources. Okay? You'll notice we have 2 alignments. Here's one. This is for our kind of big alignment, the whole paper alignment. And then we have a second one, and that's the alignment right around this line, okay? Now, I also want you to add pictures into your white paper, because that will help attract the reader's attention. So what I did is I went to Google and I typed in prisoner statistics, and I got all this good stuff. These would be great scholarly sources if I wanted to use them in the body of my paper. But if you want pictures and graphics and stuff, do an image search. Okay? And you'll get all kinds of good stuff here. Okay? If you don't get good stuff, change your search terms. So, mental health, prisoner statistics, and you might get even more. That looks like a really good one. So, and even you can even take pieces. This looks like it's a tiny piece of this one, and you can even do that. Okay. Oh, look, this is nice too. So what I do is I right click on this, and then I say I want to save this image. That's fine. I'm going to save it right on my desktop. And then I'm going to minimize that. Oops, that's not the right one. And then I'm going here. Okay. And now I'm going to drag and drop it from my desktop. Except my video's in the way. Hold on. There we go. All right, so that has messed up my formatting. Because it's huge. It doesn't need to be that big. Let's make it small. And it's still kind of in the way. I wonder if I can just move it over. No, I can't. So what I'm going to do is go to Picture Format. I'm going to click Arrange, and I'm going to click Wrap Text, and I'm going to put that behind the text so that I can move it over. Picture Format, Arrange. How about we do it in front of the text, and that way we can move it over. Okay, so it's too big. It's not really aligning with things. You can make it smaller, but if it's too hard to read and you want it to be bigger, you can always put it like over here. Make sure it's aligned with your, thing here. And then maybe instead of being in front of text, you want it to be tight. That's annoying because we have some trapped white space here. What you can do instead is do this and maybe have a call box here, or a bigger box here, okay? All right, so it's still in line with the rest of it. Maybe you want something else here. In fact, maybe you want, actually I'm gonna move. I would do 2 inches. Give it a full 2 inches. I didn't do a full 2 inches now. I wish I had a bigger white space here. Okay, so I'll give it a full 2 inches. Maybe you want a picture. I have this picture of barbed wire. And I'm going to put it here. And I don't want it to be that big, so maybe I can crop it. So go to Picture Format, and you want to crop. And maybe, I feel like I could just crop it. Can I please just crop it instead of making it bigger or smaller? Ugh. Usually this works. I'm not sure why it's not working for me right now. Okay, here we go. Okay. Press Enter and then move that over here, and if it's not going for you, put it in front of the text and then you can move it. Okay. Maybe you want another statistic under here. So you could add that and then insert a text box. Oops. Hold on. Insert a text box. Text box. Thanks. And I want one right here. And I want that to be filled. And I want this to be I want my text to be blue. And I want it to be Arial. Okay. All right, so there's something you can do to make it look pretty, basically, to make it look good and to draw the reader's eye. There's all kinds of stuff you can do. There's all kinds of stuff you can find online. Now, this thing, if you zoom in, you'll notice, see, let's zoom into 200, okay. You'll notice that there's a citation here that's the Bureau of Justice Statistics from September 2006. If your images don't have that, that means you've got to add that with the text box, okay? So don't forget to do that if you need to. Okay, so I've talked about pictures to draw in the eye. I've talked about contrast with the color of these boxes. I've talked about repetition with this stuff. Also, you can affect repetition by having the same look to your headings. All right. Solutions, our solution, conclusion. Okay. Add pictures throughout, add text boxes throughout with good information in them. And let's see. Yeah. What else can I show you? Okay, so for these headings, maybe you think this looks too silly and so you want to do something like that. Don't get lured into this trap because you can see like there's now equal space between these two, and so you've lost proximity. So you can either do something like add an extra here or make this, you know, a smaller space, or both. Okay, now you still have proximity. It's up to you. It's whatever you prefer, however you prefer it to look. Okay. My colors are not the greatest, but I think it looks pretty good, pretty professional. I like that this is orange and blue. That's nice. It worked out for me. All right, let's talk about the last page. Okay, so it looks like my report went on for about 4 pages. On the last page, oops, you can do something like copy and paste one of your headings and put it here, and hopefully, if you just press delete, that will go back to a regular alignment, and then you can put works cited. Okay. Good, it didn't mess up anything. Hooray! So here are your works cited. And it is perfectly acceptable to follow some of the format of the samples that I gave you and number your works cited. So you don't have to put an author's name each time. Or you can just do, you know, the regular thing. Now remember, last name, first name, and then you want the title of the article, mental health statistics, I'm just making this up, and then you want in italicized the journal that it's from, Prisons in America, and then you want the volume and the issue, maybe it's a volume 107, issue 4. Then you want the date, it's from maybe 2007, and then you want the page numbers, 23 to 45, and then you're gonna say print, okay? That's how to do it for a journal article. If you want to do it for something else, let's see, oh, here's some other pictures that you could include just for interest. I just typed in helping prisoners images. Image image searches are going to be helpful too.